Peace and assalamu alaikum, everybody. So I just listened to the latest episode of Crime Junkies. It is a podcast, which is what they do and talk about is obvious in the title. And I would suggest that you listen to them too. They're on all platforms where you can listen to podcasts. I normally listen to them on the podcast app, but I also listen to them on Pandora or Spotify and wherever else. But I suggest you listen to them just because they're good. But you can also listen to the actual episodes pertaining to what I'm about to talk about. So the original is a few months ago. You can find it if you go on there and kind of scroll down. And then Monday, they do a new episode every Monday. Monday, they did an update for this Operation Fireball. So, what this thing is, back, I forget what year it was, but there was a woman, she moved to a new town, so she was online, looking for new friends and things like that. She met some guy online, and he's like, hey, all right, let's meet up at this bar later on. And so she did. He told her to order 2 fireballs and wait for him. So she did that, and she's waiting. And he's like, they're texting back and forth, and he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. It's taking me a while to get there. I got caught in traffic or something like that. Then I think another time he said he got stopped by the cops, something like that. So it's just going on and on and on. Eventually, she realizes this dude is not coming. I just got played and stood up and all that kind of thing. So she goes to try to call him, and the phone is not a real number. I don't even know how you can text from a number, but it's not on. Anyway, that's what happened. So she's sitting there at the bar, and this guy comes over to her, and he's like kicking it with her like all nicely and everything. And she's telling him like, I got stood up, I'm new in town, blah blah blah. And so he's being all charismatic, and they start talking a bit. And if I remember correctly, because the original episode I listened to when it came out a few months ago, so I'm trying to remember. So I think he talks her into like going to sit at a table so they could eat a little bit and stuff like that. And she obliged. They're having good conversation, what have you. She goes over there. So eventually she excuses herself because she has to use the restroom. Leaves the person everything, child. I don't understand it. But she goes to the bathroom, and then boom, somebody bursts in the bathroom. It's the waitress. And she's like, hey, this guy, this is his MO. He does this. It's the same exact thing. A girl comes in, orders 2 fireballs, her date never comes. He kind of, swoops in, saves the night with good conversation and stuff. The lady drinks, gets a little tipsy, then he leaves with her, and then they never see the woman anymore. But then he comes in again eventually, and it's the same routine, like he's done this a few times. So the waitress bursts in the bathroom, and she's just like, yo, you can't go out there. This is not right. Something weird is going on. You gotta stay away from him. And she's like, oh my God, but I can't. I gotta go back. I left my purse, right? So whatever. So she goes out there and everything, and he keeps trying to get her to leave and leave with him. And she's like, no. And he's like, keeps trying. She's like, no, and she's like, look, I said no. So then he's like, all right, whatever. And then he leaves pissed off. But she dodged a bullet. Who knows what could have happened, right? We can only imagine, since this cat has done this before. And so they did that episode, and then they said after that went live, they got, for like weeks, all these people started like hitting them up, telling them, hey, something like that happened to me before, or something like that happened to someone they knew before. And it was all over a 10-year span of time, all across the country. So the police aren't like calling it human trafficking per se or whatever. I guess they're not really saying too much at this point, because for whatever reason. But man, so this is, again, this apparently has been going on for at least 10 years throughout the country. And so people were calling in, like somebody said the same exact thing happened to them. Or I think it might have been more than one other person. The same thing with Fireball, or another time it was somebody was told to order 2 tequilas. Another time, this woman was actually getting ready to leave with the guy. And the bouncer and somebody else, a bartender and a bouncer or somebody, stopped them at the door and told the girl, like, look, this guy, we've seen him do this before a few other times. You don't need to go with him. Like, we're not letting you go or whatever. And then the guy got peed off and like tried to grab her to snatch him with him or whatever. But then the bouncers handled him. So like she was saved. It's, oh my God. I'm just like, woo, God. I remember a long time ago, I saw something on television, and they were, there was a waiter talking about something like this happened, where it was a couple came in. I guess it was their first date or something, I believe it was. And the waiter saw the man put something in her drink when she went away to the bathroom or whatever. Ladies, stop leaving your drinks and stuff. But somebody put something, the man put something in the lady's drink, and the waiter saw it. He's like flipping, because he's like, what am I gonna do? Like, I can't let her drink that. Like, what am I gonna do? And he finally came to the table like, oh, so can I help you out with anything else? And he pretended to accidentally knock the drink over, and then like went to get her another drink. And if I remember correctly, they called the police and got the man arrested. But oh, thank goodness that some people, some staff actually pay attention to stuff, and then they're not afraid to speak up to save folks. Because just imagine how many people actually didn't get saved, or actually didn't, you know, get hip to it in time, or, you know, whatever the case is. It's so incredibly scary, and it's so scary to me, not just for my own personal safety, anything can happen to me, but I have daughters, and one of my daughters is, she just, you know, really started going out a little bit, not like out dance or anything, plus it's COVID, but she just started going out with like her little friends from work and stuff like that. And honey, they are far more like, it's just like, I don't know how to say it. I don't really know how to say it, but like they do that stuff. They meet people online, or, you know, guys come up to them. One time, my daughter went to a poetry reading. First of all, let me say we're Muslim, so we don't rock like that. But you know, as a parent, you have to, in my opinion, for my family, as a parent, I try to give some balance. You can't just keep somebody locked up for fear something's going to happen to them. You try to teach them how to be vigilant and watchful. And, you know, one of my big things have been with my daughters especially, to know that they have a voice. They have the right to say no. As I've said in other videos before, I really think that, especially girls, but when we grow up, we're taught, a lot of kids have the idea, thanks to adults, the adults in their lives, that they have to be so respectful and have a certain etiquette with adults, or, you know, with people in general. And so, you know, we don't want to be rude, we don't want to seem disrespectful, all these kind of things. And especially if you're a shy type, like you know, my daughters certainly have some shyness about them, and they're not like street kids, so to say. And I'm not saying street as derogatory term, but they didn't grow up out here in the world like that. All my children were homeschooled. Plus, again, we're Muslim, so they just had a different set of type of friends, and like none of their friends are like worldly type people or what have you. So they're just not like hip to what really goes on in the world. It's one thing to have theories, or, you know, like, yeah, there's a lot of evil in the world, yeah, but when you haven't been touched by that evil, it's very different. You don't recognize it so readily. Even if you have, you don't recognize it so readily. You know what I mean? So I worry about my daughter. Oh, so she went to poetry reading one time. Now, I'm from Jersey. I'm from North New Jersey. I used to perform a lot back in the day when I was like my daughter's age, and I had in my head poetry, and it's like poetry readings back home. It was really like, she said they were there drinking. She wasn't. She and her friend weren't. But like there was a bar there and stuff, and so like this drunk dude just kept sweating them, and they're like, ew, like, bro, we're not interested. You know what I mean? And he just kept coming to them, and alhamdulillah, the owner came and kicked him out. And like his friends, he was there with some friends, she said, and like even the friends were like, all right, boy, like chill, like you overdoing it. So the owner put the guy out or whatever because he kept harassing them. So that was great. Again, you have staff that are being aware and they stick up for you. But I mean, something could have happened when the girls left to go back to the car or something, you know what I mean? So I'm just always on edge, and who knows, because again, her buddies from work or whatever, they are worldly folks. So, and I don't know how to put it, so I'm just saying worldly. I'm not saying anything derogatory about them. I'm just saying they have a different reality, a different social reality. So, honey, some good-looking guy come and talk to her little friend or something like that, and the friend want to go off with him or want to drink or something. You know what I mean? Like, I worry about things. Shit, I ain't ashamed to say it. People try to act like, you know, when a parent is concerned about their child, especially their daughter, God forbid, you're not letting a girl just go buck wild and be whorish or whatever, then you're being overprotective, or, you know, all this kind of BS stuff. But so, you know, I'm really concerned about my daughter. I make sure she always got something on her when she leaves out. But so happens. So I say all that to say, y'all, ladies in particular, and young ladies, you have to be vigilant. The ladies at Crime Junkie Podcast, they have this thing. They say, be weird, be rude, stay alive. Because again, we have this idea of good etiquette is to, you don't want to cause so much of a ruckus. You don't want to, you know, hurt somebody's feelings. You don't want somebody, because, you know, guys, if you hurt their little egos, they trying to talk to you, don't want to. A lot of the time, they want to curse you out. You don't know if they're going to grab on you, like, shake you up. You don't know what's going to happen, because cats just be bugging like that. And, but the thing is, listen to your intuition, like, all the time, yo. All the time. Your intuition will never, ever, ever steer you wrong. Forget what it is your desire is. Listen to your intuition. Honey, that has been my number one thing for 1,000 years. Anytime I decide I want to listen to my intuition, something go wrong. Like, each and every time. Listen to your intuition. Don't be afraid to speak up. It's hard sometimes, especially if, again, if you're a shy person, if you're you know, if you're shy, if you have certain insecurities, maybe where you just haven't really found your voice, it's hard. I ain't gonna front like it's not hard. It's hard for me sometimes. I remember about maybe 4 or 5 years ago, one of my old jobs I worked at, and the guy, he used to always touch me. He would touch my back. You know how people are. And he used to touch my back when he's talking. He would like rub it, and I hated that because one, like if I have on a bra, if I don't have on a bra, now he knows. Like, don't touch me. But I hated it. It would make me cringe so much. But I was so afraid to say something. Just, I don't even know why. I'm just, like I said, I'm just really, really a shy person in reality. And when I speak up for myself, I have to consciously force myself to speak up. And I've gotten a lot better at it because I've been screwed over so much, and I'm like an old lady right now. So but I remember it was so hard for me to say something, but I did. And I remember I was so nervous, not because I didn't think it was going to do anything. I was busting his head with something, or have my son bust his ass or something like that. But it wasn't about that. It was just me. I don't know what it was. And so I'm not here trying to pretend that it's always easy. It's not. But sometimes those hard actions that we have to take will help us, will save us from something very, very bad happening. I've been there. I've been sexually assaulted several times in my life, raped, straight grabbed off the street, raped by some cat I did not know when I was 16. And I've been in other situations as a young girl by people I knew or didn't know, and what have you. I understand. But again, sometimes you can help yourself avoid those situations just by speaking up, cussing somebody out, like throwing them off their game, letting them know that other people hear and know what's going on. And you know, it's hard out here, honey. It's hard. It's no joke. But yeah, I just want to put that out there, that there's something going on. So if you just be careful if you meet people online, especially right now during COVID. From what I understand by being on Facebook, a lot of people are meeting dates online because they're just so thirsty for, you know, relationship right now, because you can't go out to the bars or strip clubs or, you know, just meet people in the normal kind of ways. So please, please, please